Right.
Hey everybody, it's Rob and Cari from Hoosier Haunts. Trying to turn the phone around so the logo isn't backwards. How you guys doing this evening? We can't see if we're on the air right now. That's the funny and scary thing. Hey, coming to you midweek just like we like to do because we wanted to talk about some of the upcoming stuff we have, and we wanted to touch on a particular topic that for some reason has gotten skipped over quite a bit. We want to talk to Miss Cari and find out a little bit more about why
investigate.
Why do you investigate?
Well, I think ever since I was little, I grew up in an old farmhouse, and I believe things occurred in that house that were unexplainable. Growing up, I love adrenaline rush, so I used to scare my best friend all the time, and so I'm trying to help Rob get.
You just talk. Let me fumble around. This old man fumbling on laptop. Film at 11.
But I had one experience when I was married, and we lived in Muncie, and the house, it wasn't that old, but one night, excuse me, I heard something over by my closet. I took a picture, and something appeared in the picture, like a little, it was like a green light coming out of my closet, but it's real faint, and I took it again, and it wasn't there. So that was the only experience I had from moving out on my own. Then, once I got the house that I'm currently in, it was pretty quiet when I first moved in there, but then I ended up bringing a mirror from my grandmother's house, which was the only thing I could think of that I had brought in new. But I also collect antiques, so I was thinking maybe it's something I brought into the house.
So you're kind of left-handedly collecting ghosts.
Yeah, I try. So once things started to occur, like I've had a jewelry box levitate and then fall to the floor. Once I opened it later on in the day, after I was able to calm down from it, all the necklaces were in a ball, so that's unexplainable. I've had glass break. The dogs react to stuff in my house. I had a dream one night that there was a man with a beard behind my couch.
It wasn't me.
There was a photo taken at one point that you can almost see a figure in the background. I do not have that picture anymore. So it made me believe there was a man in my house. I'm never scared of him. He has never done anything to hurt me. He just likes to play games. He won't come like in the room I'm in or whatever.
Like Canasta or
I don't know.
Euchre, Go Fish, what kind of games?
No, okay, so if I'm in my bedroom, it'll stay in the living room area or whatever. If I'm in the living room, it likes to be in the kitchen, laundry room area, getting the dogs riled up and everything. A few times I've heard, my door is very distinct because it's an old door with glass panes in it, so I've heard that open and close. I've heard footsteps come down to my bedroom, but nobody comes in. So I have a lot of interesting activity that happens at my house pretty frequently. This last thing that happened was when I was reviewing the EVPs from Ashmore.
I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah. When I was reviewing the EVPs from Ashmore, my dogs were reacting to something. I have, like I've told everybody before, I'm afraid of the dark, so I have motion lights through my hallway. And the first motion light comes on down the hall, and then the second one, and the dogs are going kind of crazy. Then they calm down, and, now most people say do not investigate your own house. I've left my recorder out before, and ever since that time, I've never done it again. I did capture an older man, I don't know his age, obviously, from the sound of it he was kind of,
raspy?
Yeah. He's talking to a child. The child is responding, and then he, yells, and she screamed. That's where I stopped it, and I've never recorded again. We've talked about setting up cameras. The team wants to investigate my house.
I get the not wanting to, but at the same time, being a ghost hunter, I don't get it. So.
Yeah. We kind of share the house, and he doesn't try to hurt me. Every once in a while, he'll startle me, but I just live with it, and I don't know where he came from or.
Didn't you say it used to be old farmland?
Yeah.
Horse barns and stuff.
The house I grew up in until I was 7 years old was old horse farm, and so literally the house I live in now, I can see my old house, and that was the original property. That all was farmland. So
is that like pasture or something?
Yeah, something like that. But when it rains, I have bricks that come up out of the ground. So at some point, that was a foundation of something. I don't know what was originally there, but so I have a lot of activity almost daily in my house. So I enjoy investigating other people's properties. And maybe someday you will see my house being investigated by the team. I've said that maybe I might join. He does seem to interact when I'm there, so I don't know if he'd interact with anybody else.
Rick's clowning on me.
Oh.
Hey, Rick, how you doing?
Another thing I'd like to bring up is my dad has been over there before, and he had my dogs out back, and my back, for whoever owned my house last, has all my light switches on dimmers. And so Dad's out back with the dogs.
The romantic type.
Yeah, even my back porch lights. Okay, it's like a UFO because they used to have a pool back there. So when my house is lit up, it looks like a UFO just landed. But Dad's out back, and the dogs, or the light dims, and the dogs look at the light switch like somebody was inside. So Dad has watched that activity. He won't go up in the attic by himself because my friends might lock him up there. So a lot of activity. I've had people call me and say, all your lights in your house are on, and I'm not there. So
wow.
I'm not scared of it. I live alone with my dogs, and they take care of me. But
They're
it
big
is
dogs.
Yeah, they're huge. But the part that gets me is when I'm sitting there relaxed and all of a sudden they take off. But I've never heard anything with my own ears in that house besides footsteps. So yeah, that's kind of why I love investigating.
So it's not only from all those experiences, it's personal because you're living it right now.
Mm-hmm.
You and Rick both have those unseen roommates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I wish you'd pay rent. It would help me out a little bit. So,
dogs, kids, and ghosts don't pay rent.
Right. But I don't think I brought this man home with me from investigation. That kind of sounds funny. I don't bring random guys.
Hey, mom picked up this guy.
No, but I don't think he came from an investigation. I think he's been there for a while. Just something I may have brought in, or maybe it's from one of my pieces that I brought in, or I don't know. It makes it interesting when you're sitting there and something happens, and you have a friend over or something. They're like, "What is that?" And I'm just like, "The man with the beard." And if they aren't into this stuff, they're like, "What are you talking about?" So.
Wow.
So, Rick, are you talking about when I said the old man?
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, okay.
So, but I kind of just want to share my side of things because I know we get off topic sometimes. And
all the time, usually,
Rob has a ghost in his house that pushed me one night, so.
She needs training wheels.
Yeah, and a helmet sometimes. So that is why I investigate.
Cool. Well, now that we finally know the story, because we've done this a couple times and we didn't realize that we'd never ask you. Mm-hmm. So now we've hit for the cycle, right?
Right. Also, I investigate because we have an awesome team, and I would like to say that I love bringing all these people together. They're a bunch of fun.
A bunch of nuts is what we're Hey, you and I have been road tripping lately and looking at some places. we tried to get into Whispers. So Whispers, is it with an S? Whispers?
Whispers Estates.
Whispers Estates. Couldn't quite hook up with the guy. He finally answered, I don't know, yesterday, which didn't do us any good for Saturday. But we may circle back around to that. We looked at another place near. Should we say where it's near?
What?
You know, the one place we went and looked at, near the other place.
Yeah.
It's hard to say it without not saying
it. Yeah. We did go look at a old hotel built in the 1800s.
1872 or 1827.
Right. It's about 10 minutes away from Rhodes Hotel. If you're familiar with that, we looked into it. It needs a lot of work. So
a lot of work. Just to get it safe and usable, and then after that lot of work, then there's a lot of work to try and restore it back. So it would be a massive undertaking.
Hi, Lila. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
I'm glad you can see it. My eyes are so bad. There's people there. Hello, people. So if anybody's got any questions, feel free to shout them out. Cari will read them because I'm sitting closest to the screen and I still can't see it. But yeah, so we've been looking at a couple places like that. You and I were talking about a place, and then a friend of ours just sent us a text today mentioning the same place.
Mm-hmm. Which is odd.
It was weird. I told him his spidey senses must have been tingling because Cari and I were just talking about it. And he said, just like me, doesn't have any sense, you know. But that's us guys. So so that might be something we have to talk about here in the future. Right now we don't. We've got one coming up. It's now in 2 weeks, but we're going to do some interviews ahead of time, correct?
Yes.
For that?
This Sunday we're doing interviews at the location. Like we've said before, it is confidential, and we are keeping it confidential just because of the business owner. But we will share what we can with you on.
And we're being a little extra guarded now because he's okay with us sharing some things, but not other things. But I don't think you and I know what things we can share and can't share.
Right. So once we speak to him and he lets us know, like we're rule followers. We're not going to break his rules. So
yeah,
we respect that.
We appreciate the opportunity to get in there and see if we can figure out what's going on for him. And
thanks, Lila, for reassuring me that I'm saying your name right.
And helping out. Yeah.
Then,
I've seen Lila. Thanks for following us. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Then we have the Rhodes Hotel again, which I'm hoping for.
It's only again for these guys.
Okay. I'm glad Rob's going to join us. But we had quite a bit of activity last time, and I'm hoping it's as lively as it was last time. I hope nobody gets sick like Dave did last time. But
she wants to try to recreate that to see if I can.
Yeah, Rob's going to be our guinea pig. So, and then we have Harrison House.
Harrison House is really cool. That's one I've been to that you haven't been to.
Mm-hmm. We also.
It's going to be cool. You're going to like it.
We also have a private residence maybe in February. So we'll bring you what we can bring you when we can bring it to you.
Just so you guys know, Rick is our case manager, and he's working on those kinds of things. So you can hit our email, or you can send a message on Facebook, the Messenger Dealy Bob Thingo. And there's an interview process. We want to make sure that we can help you, and you're right for us, and we're right for you, and all that. Because we don't want to waste your time. And honestly, we don't want our time wasted either. So we want to make sure that the situation's right and we can actually give you some help. And if we can't, we can at least point you in the correct direction.
Right.
So.
Do we have a messenger? Yes. You can. Are you talking about on Facebook? You can message us. It'll come to several of us, but if you really want to bug somebody, Rick is the one to bug.
Yes. The email is on the Facebook page there. Wherever those things are kept.
But I think Lila's talking about Facebook Messenger.
Oh,
so, yeah. feel free to.
I'm just saying, if you want to just go straight to Rick directly.
Yeah.
If you do the Facebook, we'll all respond, and then Rick will be the one that will get back in touch with you ultimately.
Mm-hmm. But we definitely want to try to get 2 or 3 investigations in a month. So if you know somebody or know a location that you're wanting us to go to,
if you guys got some cool places, doesn't have to be in Indiana, but let's say within a 2 to 3 hour drive that you've heard people have investigated or had experiences at, or there's a possibility for access, post it on our Facebook, Instagram us, smoke signals, whatever you got. We'll check into it because we're trying to make the rounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We ultimately want to go back to Ashmore again, right?
Right, yeah. Hopefully when it's warmer, we'll go back to Ashmore. We're still looking into guest investigators, and
we want to do Post Town.
Mm-hmm.
We want to do Post Town. Anybody that saw the paranormal ball, I guess, or whatever it's called, we didn't have the whole team. We didn't have all of our equipment. It was part celebration, part run around and investigate. It was a blast. I got my first static charge.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool because we looked at each other at the same time like, are you touching me? Lila, yeah. If you don't want to make it private, you can message. If you send it through Facebook Messenger, like I said, it'll go to 4 or 5 of us, I think. If you send it to our email, it'll just go to Rick. So
yeah, it's not going out in the public via Messenger. It's going to the team.
Yeah.
So there's 5 of us that can see that message on the team. So you're in good hands with whoever you go to. It's just Rick is the one spearheading all that because that's kind of his forte, and we appreciate that he can do that. Mm-hmm. My schedule is always erratic. I know yours can be from time to time as well. So It's nice that Rick has that ability to respond quickly.
Right.
So
right. So yeah. So we have some interesting things coming up. I know we've had a little dead time because of the holidays and everything, but we just wanted to come to you live tonight and kind of share where we're at, and we haven't evaporated into thin air.
Yeah. And I got some new tools, so I'm excited. Try them out and see whether they work or not. I try to be a little bit of a MacGyver. Sometimes my ideas work, sometimes they don't. But got a lot of great flashlight response at Post Town, which has been making me think about my little flashlight gizmo.
Yeah.
In fact, when Cari called and said, "Do you want to do a live tonight?" I was looking at flashlight gizmos. Mm-hmm. So, if I pull that trigger, it's going to be before we go to Post Town because the kids there seem to really, the place has been investigated, so they understand the concept of the flashlight, the whole situation. So if you're going to get responses, that's the place to get them with the flashlight.
And it was awesome because I actually saw the flashlight moving. Like I just figured whatever was messing with the top of the flashlight, but I was close enough that I could see the flashlight move, which was awesome. That was probably the best part. Another great part at Post Town was the paranormal ball, the little.
Yes. It's okay to call it what it really is.
Okay, the cat ball that Mike Simpson brought.
Mike, you're a friggin' genius. And I told her, I said, hey, you can't call it a cat ball. It just doesn't sound right. You gotta get that. I made up this big name, and she just tried to remember it. That was, God bless her.
Okay, so it's a little ball that lights up if it's touched or whatever. And so at one point I got down the floor, I rolled it, because we were interacting with, what was her name?
It was a big name. Elizabeth,
Elizabeth, no.
Alejandro.
I don't know. We'd have to go back and watch our recording again. But anyway, we're interacting with what we think is a little girl spirit. And so I get down on the floor, roll the little ball, and I said, can you roll it back to me? Okay, when it stops, the lights turn off. While I'm down on the floor, the flashlight's still reacting to our questions, and then the ball comes back on, and it was so awesome. I was like, could you just roll it to me? But, so yeah, if you've never investigated Post Town Elementary, definitely take some flashlights with you. So,
yeah, like I said, the kids understand the flashlight concept, the flashlight question and answer, and you get great response with it.
I think honestly too, they like to turn the flashlight completely off because everything goes dark.
That's only because you're scared of the dark.
Right? I am. I'm so scared of the dark.
Because I thought they were just having fun turning it on and off sometimes too. I'm not really answering the question, just like, what's this?
Right. And another thing about investigating when it's super cold, like we did at Ashmore, of course, my flashlight would not work half the time, and it didn't work very well at Ashmore. Yeah, so
electronics don't like cold.
Right.
They just don't.
But I really want my flashlight to stay on sometimes, and it won't stay on. So, yeah, it's fun. So, thanks for everybody. Thank you everybody for joining us, and we do this for you guys. We also do it for fun for us, but we want to stay connected with you guys. We want you guys to interact with us. We're really down to earth, and we don't think anything you guys, like if anybody posts anything, we're not gonna be like, oh my gosh, this person, we'll listen to you, we'll talk to you, and go from there.
Yep.
But if you know anybody that's interested in being a guest investigator, if you are, send an email, send a message to us. If you know a location or somebody is home that they want to investigate, let us know.
Business.
Right.
Or business.
So right now we don't really have we don't have a limit on how far we will go either. I guess if somebody was like, we have one out in California, that'll take a while for us to get to, but
it's all math and geography because we work for a living, so you get time off if it's a far-flung situation. But,
right. So, well, stay tuned, and thank you guys for joining us. And Lila, we'll look forward to your message, and have a great rest of your week. We made it to Wednesday. It has been a very long week already.
I'm on my second Friday, and we're not even there yet.
Right. So, all right. Well,
you gonna sign off?
No.
All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Rob and Cari, Hoosier Haunts. Peace out.